Straight from the heart of Texas.
You're off. No, he was off. It's bop, 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 deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh. Yes, everybody's in Texas except for me. All right. Well, be thankful that Texas is on the earlier part of the schedule, because I know that I would not wish that kind of weather on people that live in hell.
I don't know. You live in Vegas, so you got the heat out there too now.
Yeah, it's cooling off, but it was getting pretty warm the last couple of days. But I mean, I went to Texas in 2020 or 2021, whenever they were allowing people back, but we were still like, yeah, that was 2020. I mean, it was hot.
It was hot. It was hot at the track. It was that thigh chafe hot.
Yeah, it was hot, so hot that I almost passed out. And especially since it was like in the middle of 2020, there weren't that many concessions, and just standing in line, I thought I was gonna pass out. And it was so weird because I remember that race, like not a whole lot of cautions. I think there was only one caution. And when that happened, I was in line for lemonade and I didn't even see what happened. That was when, what was his name? Quinn. Why am I thinking Quinn? Quinn Huff. When he like was about to go into pit road and like came all the way from the wall.
I think he Cup, or was that Xfinity? That's
no, that was Cup.
Man,
that's how long ago it was.
Man, you're right.
I haven't heard his name since.
You made me think about it. You also brought up a story Stephen Parsons brought up to me earlier today at the last Texas race when he was talking about it was so hot. he had to be a sub. He was called to sub in for the race, but didn't know that. So he wasn't prepared the night before, hanging out, might have not as hydrated as he should have. Mm-hmm. And as hot as it was, when he got in the car, I guess they had a malfunction with their hose, so he didn't have AC.
The AC was broken?
The hose or something.
Yeah.
So he had to weather that whole race. Oh, man.
Yeah, that Texas heat, I think that's the last time I even got tan. I had like 3 different colors on my shoulder. I was peeling the next few weeks. And you have to remember, I live in Vegas. I work outdoors. I'm in the sun at all times. And that was the first time I like actually got sunburned in the last 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you better put that sunblock on. We can't hide under our melanin.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. So I learned my lesson, and it's also humid out there too. So anyways, you were hanging out with Raj's family last night. I did not get to see the race. I'm covering NHRA this weekend. So how's that been?
Man, it was crazy. It was a triple header, first of all. So, Friday is the first stint of that 3-race weekend. Followed by the Xfinity race today. Sunday is the Cup race. But Friday with Raja running in the first race, one of the biggest things that, we focus on is he had a lot of new people and it was their first time going to the racetrack. So you best believe, one of the biggest things that, you have to remedy is them getting inside the racetrack to actually see what they need to see. Because you don't just have his family there. He had partners and potential sponsors that, they've never really seen the race or are familiar with how early you need to get there, where to park, strategically where to park, how to get in. So organizing all of that, I didn't really see a lot of the race because, mind you, some people showed up at 7:25 and credentials closed at 7:30. So
how do you even get them in?
Just experience and relationships. Okay. And just knowing how to manage. And, it was nonstop, crazy juggle that I didn't really get into the racetrack until the race had started. But once it started, I did take some time to just watch him on the track. And he was so fast. He was bad fast, got in trouble a little early and had to persevere. And being that he has won a race already, these are the type of races you learn the most from, because when you have trouble like he did early, went down up to 2 laps.
2 laps
caught a lucky break. So he went down to 1 lap, but then ended up finishing on the lead lap 11th or 12th, you know. So I mean,
That's
a
still
couple of
good.
spots shy out of 10th, you know. And mind you, he started dead last. So
I didn't know
you
that.
know, he passed a lot of cars. You know, he was very impressive. He was very
That's
impressive,
good.
and it felt like he learned a lot. So, and not only that, he had a lot of attention. You know, he has a little. He has a
Sorry.
lot of attention and a lot of distractions that he has to sift through, and he's doing a amazing job now.
Well, good. Proud to hear it. So we are looking forward to Texas. The Cup race is tomorrow. I don't know if you
Yep.
guys heard, but Dr. Phil is supposed to be the the honorary pace car
Tell me
driver.
who else you heard. I did not know. I did not know of
Didn't
that.
hear
I
that.
just,
That's
I didn't
cool.
know
That's
that.
true. Is it like
Yeah.
okay, so I saw it once. Usually I'll check out the press releases.
How can
But
we
I
use
saw
that?
it. I saw it on social media, and at first I was like, "No, there's no way." But then I saw it on other, social media pages, and I was like, "Wow!" I just did not think that would be a choice. I don't know
What would
why.
I ask Dr. Phil if I had the chance? And since he's going to be at the racetrack, I figured if I hang around the media center at some point, I might
Just
run
tell him
into
to
him.
catch you outside.
He was a
How about
catalyst for that.
that?
How
Bad
about that?
Bunny. Man,
That's pretty much that's pretty much what I know. Well, I mean, I knew of him growing up a lot, but
Dr.
that
Phil,
was
catch me outside. How about that?
that's peak Dr.
Dr.
Phil.
Phil.
I didn't
So
even think about that correlation, so appreciate that. I'll use that,
really,
run into him. I mean,
we're
I
gonna
think
have to
about him
have
from everything else, you know, like the Oprah, you know, the
yeah,
male version of Oprah.
pretty much. I think he came on right after Oprah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
think
they
I
were
would
back to back.
I would come home from high school, and my dad, he would be watching TV right after Oprah, Dr. Phil was on, and anytime there was like some misbehaving child, he was like, "Crystal, come in here. I want to show you something." So just to teach me a lesson, just in case I wanted to mess up.
That was scared straight for me.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I
And
was
that's
never. I
another.
don't think I was. I didn't need to be scared that badly. I wasn't that bad of a kid. So this is another track where in the Cup Series, Truex has come up short than runner-up. I think it was a total of 3 times. I don't know if it's been consecutive, but
Probably. It might have been.
that's kind of giving power to the hashtag that you basically created for him last week or a couple weeks ago.
Truex.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Truex.
Too nice, you know. He got. I feel imposed his will a little bit. I don't know. He's a guy, you know. He's an OG and he's been around a long time, so all the other drivers kind of know, and he's developed a reputation. So can you really 180 that idea of how you race this late in your career is the question I'm asking, because right now seems like when he's running up front, you know, veteran drivers are kind of licking their chops as of lately
I think
when
the
they see
tone is
him.
set, Rock. I think the tone is set. Right? You know what to
What do you
expect
mean?
week in and week out with him. Right? If you're on the track
He ain't
and
taking no chances.
you already know what you got with him, right? So
Steady Eddie.
I think it's set.
Steady Eddie.
I think that's what he's giving you.
We shall see. So I guess a big thing to look out for at Texas this week is the tires.
When is it not?
What? It's not?
I said, when is it not?
Oh, when is it not? Yeah, you're right. But I don't know, for some reason there's like a wealth of information that's made public on the tires as of late. And we're finally going back to 1.5 miles. To be honest, I was actually getting a little tired of the short tracks. It's nice to see a little bit of the schedule shake up finally.
Well, why do you say that, Crystal? Explain why you're getting tired of the short tracks and what's, you know, for people who don't understand.
I think I just get a little tired of like the monotony of it. And I know that there's a lot of diverse tracks on the schedule. And I mean, it's not like in the last few races, like they haven't been great races, but you just want to see different things happening week in and week out. Like if they were to just go short track, it's the same thing. And you're also not seeing a whole lot of speed. And that's what I want. That's why I'm looking forward to next week, because I think you guys go to Talladega next.
Talladega's next.
Yeah.
Talladega's next. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
And
want to.
you bring up a good point that I didn't think about. There are race fans like different aspects of racing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you said you want to see the cars go fast. Some want to see the cars handle well,
Mm-hmm.
and just maneuver, make passes on other cars. Some want to see the cars beat and bang. Some want to see the cars not touch anybody and race clean and with precision. So that's pretty cool. When you said that, it made me think about the different aspects of
Yeah.
what people actually want when they
Yeah. And I mean, I
watch.
like to see it all, to be honest. Like when you mix it up, that's pretty much my favorite thing. That's why I think it's so crazy when people are just like, all you do is sit there and watch like a car go around in ovals, for 3-4 hours. And it's like, not always. And I always
Yeah.
like kind of throw in that little reminder that they turn right every now and then whenever they do road course racing. But it's just the simple variety of tracks and just being able to see something different every time that you go. But like I said, when it comes down to short tracks over and over and over again, you start missing a little bit of that speed because at short tracks, what are they going? Like, well, depending on what track it is, like you can do that in your regular car sometimes.
Some people do. Some people are in their 90s in their regular cars. I don't know. I know of a few that will do 90 all the time if they could.
Look, between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, there's that long strip of the 15, and I'm sure I've seen it plenty of times. So,
But we're forgetting we're talking about the tires, and remember Bristol when all the tires wore off, and how exciting that was a short track. So they haven't all been bad. It's just majority. That seemed like an anomaly because it seemed like that was weather related to the reason why the tire fall off was so coupled with that compound that they put down as well, the resin. That was the reason why they had to fall off. But with the other two short tracks, yes, the verdict was out that they were. Other than the fact that Hendrick dominated and your status quo did what they did, there wasn't a lot of opportunity to pass, and there wasn't a lot of tire fall off. What are you doing, Chris? Why are you going like that? What are you doing?
Oh, we're back to the Hendrick boys.
Yeah, wait, I was about to say, you know what? You realize that Rocko is
they did finish 1, 2, damn 3.
Hey, they did. It was a Hendrick party.
The oldest racetrack ever. That's never. I would have thought that would have happened a lot of times, especially those years when Jimmy was dominating. But no racetrack, never finished 1, 2, 3. That's crazy.
We've got the Goodyear Eagle 18-inch Speedway radials.
Yep.
Set limits. You get for Cup, you get 1 set for practice, 1 set for qualifying, and 9 sets for the race. 8 sets plus 1 set. 1 set transferred from qualifying.
Say it again, Crystal. The first one. Well, what kind of tires are those?
Goodyear Eagle 18-inch Speedway radials.
You got 18s on your wheel? You got 18s? That's what that is. The wheelbase is 18 inches, and that has increased from 15 inches from what they used to be prior to the next-gen car.
The 5 Love to 15 inches, yep.
They're bigger, they're wider, but they're aluminum wheels, not steel wheels. So they are also minus the inner liner.
Yeah, the liner on the inside. So I don't know that much about tire codes. It says left side D5186, right side D5.
That's how you recognize those tires, because they have they keep those codes and correspond them to the setups for these crew chiefs. These crew chiefs setups, most of them are so contingent around the tire that Goodyear makes, because depending on that rubber compound, it'll cause that car to handle differently. So you'll have to put your mounting points differently, or whatever the case may be that the smart people do, or whatever the case. So you have to keep track of what tire is used, because there's a lot of science in those tires, to the point where they really get into the weeds of they could trace to the birth date of who touched that tire last, basically,
Yeah,
and
the codes on there are important. Those D codes are the compound codes.
See,
from which that they were made, right? So the compound codes, you'll use a left side from Texas with a right side from another track in different events, just for an example, right? So they can mix and match those codes, but every tire that's made with that code is the same compound, right? So there's also dates on there for when those tires were made, the weeks and the year, right?
Okay.
So they make them in batches. So like what normally happens is your lower series will get older tires, right? And the Cup guys will get the fresher batch of tires of those D codes, right? So like to Rocko's point, there is some science in there. The left sides are smaller than the right sides when we go to oval tracks.
Why is that? Because we're racing in a cereal bowl, right?
Racing in a circle, right? So with those smaller tires on the left, it helps you turn left easier. And you have another phenomenon with stagger, right?
Yes.
With the tire size itself when it's inflated, which also changes the handling of the cars and trucks based off stagger. So you can tighten the car up or you can free a car up based off of stagger and air pressure.
And let's not talk about the way the driver drives the car. He can manipulate how fast his tire is wearing off of how it feels. And that is the difference maker. And that is the delicate balance between Goodyear making a tire with a lot of fall off, but also demonstrating control, because they don't want to look like they make a tire or a product that's failing. You shouldn't look at a tire that's coming apart in a race as failing. This is strategically done to create the excitement, to create the fall off, and that's science, and that's a lot of expertise involved. And I mean, that alone is interesting in itself when it comes to watching the race and knowing the little innuendos and behind the scenes type stuff that goes on, to make a race successful. So Goodyear and these tires is one of, and the air pressure is one that goes into the tires. I mean, that's one of the biggest manipulators. We did a segment for Raja talking to some kids and explaining how powerful air pressure is. We're making adjustments to the car on the track.
And we're talking a half a pound. We're not talking whole pounds. We're talking half pounds. So a half a pound can make a difference in whether that driver is feeling tight or
former tire specialist coming out. Everybody forget that Chris was a former tire specialist, man, in Las Vegas.
Well, remember when I said this too earlier, when I asked you about it, I was like, okay, there's a lot of information on these tires, and I know, like, as a tire carrier, I was like, what do you really have to know? Like, this is all basically tire specialist stuff. That's how you know those codes. I was like, the what? After that, I was like, wait a minute, this might be too much information for me.
No. He was a tire carrier and a tire specialist.
You did everything.
And, the more you know, the better you are, and damn near, I ain't gonna call you a mechanic, because in my eyes, you're Chris who ran a Ford 240, right? You ain't gonna do that now.
So, you might run a 4 minute 40.
4 minute 40. But the long story short, tires and air pressure, Crystal. As Chris explained, that's the difference maker in a race.
So is this going to be one of those things where we expect a lot of attention to be on the tires more so than anything else? Or is there going to be stuff like within the pit crews that we're expecting? Like, every time we go to a different track, there's always something, maybe on the pit crew end, like you said, road courses are more focused on the fueler. And, at Phoenix, you're looking at pit box selection and how quick your pit stop can go.
You're going to have a little bit of all of it, right? So and every situation is different. So you might have a guy on the team out there that's got a great long run car, right? So we have a long green flag run and we're 20, 30 laps into the run and their car comes to life. Where those guys that have short run cars, their car falls off in the long runs, right? So you'll see those guys that you might think are kind of just running 15th at the start, now they're passing cars. Now you look at the end of the stage one, and they went from 15th to 4th because they have a good long run car.
Well, so then they're going to flip the stages too. They're going to split them in half, and the strategy there. So who won that race?
Once you get towards the end, though, the guys that are on the short run might actually fare well if they could gain the position. But that comes down to whether you have a caution. And if it's going to come down to a 2-lap shootout, those long-run cars are pretty much SOL.
Right.
That's what makes it all fun. Okay, Okay, so what's the pit crew forecast going to be for Texas Motor Speedway? Since we've already talked about tires, like I said, every time you go to a different track, it's always going to be about a different position or the cohesiveness of your team. So what are we looking at for Texas Motor Speedway? Is it similar to Vegas?
Those guys right there that can stick together and make the least amount of errors.
Two
those
tires,
guys two
four
tires,
tires,
right?
split the stages, big boxes.
Big boxes, yeah. But whoever can be clean on pit road, those are the guys that's gonna rise to the top, right? When you don't try to do too much too fast, and you just do what you do, slow is fast. So those guys that are consistent, those guys that are like I said, being error free and just putting tires on, taking tires off, putting tires on, fuel in the car, they're gonna rise to the top when it counts, in my opinion.
I can tell you right now by the by qualifying, by the pit road map. Where is it at? I just got it sent to me.
And then this is something that I feel like we don't do it every single week, but when it comes to pit box selection, what are the key? Which ones do you think are going to be the ones to look at?
You're asking. Look, this was so cool, and how we can do this, Chris. There, she asked, "What's the pit crew forecast? What are we expecting?" I'm looking at pit road. I see Kyle Larson in the first pit box. Right now, what does that tell you?
Pole sitter.
He's on the pole, and this is Texas. What team is he with?
Win at Vegas at a mile and a half. He's probably.
I hate to say it, but that's another Hendrick on the pole again.
Ding, 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 ding. You hear that, Crystal? You see how you're an analyst now? If he can win at Vegas, he can do it there. It's a mile and a half.
He better hope his tires don't fail him.
You want to know what else I see? I see an opening at pit box 5 with the 12 and the 54 in front and behind it.
So
I see an opening. I see an opening at the 9 with the 2 and the 20. I see the 45 with an opening and the 23 with an opening. And I see the 24. And is that the 3? And the 3 got an opening. They must have qualified well. The 14 has an opening. The 1 has an opening. And the 11 took the last pit box right by my box, the monster box.
So let's kind of talk about that a little bit, because I don't know that we've ever actually talked about that, like having the open pit boxes or pit stalls in front and behind drivers.
Get him, Chris.
Why is that significant?
It's significant in the fact that when you're leaving the pit stall after your stop is complete, no one is blocking you because you have that opening. So on the opening side. On the other side, on the back end, you don't have anybody behind you when you're coming into your stall, so you can be a little more aggressive. And you're not worrying about the car and the guy behind you. So you can be aggressive to your box. But you also have the car in front of you that you have to kind of manage leaving. So it's kind of a two-edged sword there. Like, do you want to have the exit or you want to have the entry for those stops? But it's always an advantage when you have those openings, like I said, because you don't have to worry about entering or leaving, depending on what side of the opening you're on. Yeah.
Well, say and I guess this may not even, the way that I'm picturing it may not even make any sense. But if, let's say, you have to choose between whether you're going to have space between your pit stalls or take the last pit stall, which one would be more beneficial? Does it just depend on your strategy?
Depends on the strategy. It depends who's pitting around you. So you might have the exit empty, but you might have a car that might be normally laps down. Right. So now you winning on both ends because you pit before that car pits, and then you complete your stop before they even show up.
Gotcha.
So it's also a little cat and mouse game.
And let me add to that. It depends on your driver. Some drivers just prefer certain ends of pit road. And if you really want to get deep and peel back the layers, psychologically, for pit crew members to be pitted at the front end of pit road and to visually see your car coming all the way down to you creates a buildup and an anticipation that could create more mistakes, as opposed to having your stall further at the end or in the middle, even where there's not as much buildup and drama, where you see other cars peeling off in their box before they get up to you. So at the same time, there is a lot of factors, pros and cons to where you pit on pit road.
Why do these bubbles keep popping up? Do you guys notice? Or is it because you do this? How does
Boom,
that happen?
that means you like it. You mean that means you
I
like
didn't do anything. I just noticed like there's random
you
times.
had to do that. You had to have done that.
Oh, AI. It's all AI.
No, that had to be you. Dang.
If you go back to other like recordings, you'll notice there's like sometimes when bubbles come out, and I'm thinking Adam.
Don't tell me that, Crystal, because now you're freaking me out. I mean, you're making me
You've
think
never
Adam
seen
is
those
here in
things?
spirit. Yes,
No,
but I thought
like,
if somebody was doing
Adam
it.
was pushing something. I didn't do anything, so I don't know why they're coming up. Hands.
Adam's on his phone. He's doing it from his phone.
Yeah, he's ghosting. He's
Trying
in
to mess
Casper mode. He's in Casper mode right now.
Oh no. All right. Anyways, we'll try to keep
creepy.
that. We'll see if we get bubbles this time. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, I thought you did that.
Huh?
I thought you did that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Anytime, if you go back to any other episodes, you'll see my face sometimes when there's like that little thing and bubbles come up, and I'm sitting there like, what? Where'd it come from? But
I need to start spitting facts. Y'all need to start getting some damn bubbles like me. Jeez.
I get balloons, you get bubbles. I think it just means that Chris is doing it all. He's the AI person or the tech person here, so he's probably the one doing it.
I'll never tell.
So I guess we'll wrap up Texas because you don't want to spill all of it. We'll just have to watch and see what happens. We may not even see.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
why is it going to be interesting?
Strategy, reverse strategy, splitting the stages.
How's Stuart Hoss feel about it? You
Yeah.
have Texas circled on your schedule, like, ooh, we're gonna ball out in Texas. Ooh,
Texas is one of those historically tracks that we ran well on, right? You know,
who is we? Who is we?
Stuart Haas, right? So when we had the closer, you know, he's got some wins there, Texas.
Say
right?
it with your chest.
Right? Closer.
Yeah, the Kevin Hart. Yeah.
So when Harvick was in town, you know, you felt pretty good at these places.
But he ain't there no more.
He's not
here. Tell me about
now
somebody now, Stuart Haas now.
Listen, Briscoe's on it. Noah's hungry, right? Noah's hungry. So we got these two elements, these young guns.
And that pit crew's fast.
14's fast.
They had one of the fastest pit crews of the year, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Briscoe's pit crew.
Briscoe, 14.
One of the fastest of the year. I think it was like 8.5413, It's crazy.
Yeah, let's meet these guys. Let's meet these guys. I want to know who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you got video?
Yes, I do. Let's get it rolling.
Shane Papala, front tire changer. I've been changing tires for 16 years. The 2017 Daytona 500 champion, back-to-back Brickyard champ in 19 and 20, 2023 Xfinity champion, and I wouldn't be here without my loving support of my wife and son, Amy and Lucas. Thank you.
I'm Dakota Ratcliffe. I'm the rear tire changer. This is my 6th season in the sport, and I'm your 2023 Xfinity Series champion.
John Burnell, tire carrier, 2015 most valuable pit crew, 2017 Daytona 500 winner, father of 3, and the sexiest man on pit road with bald head.
Dylan Moser, nickname is Moose, Jackman, played football at Wingate University, and I made SportsCenter top 10.
Corey Coppolo, Bueller, 5th year in the sport, winner at Phoenix in 2022, former Davidson defensive lineman.
Yep, and you got some veterans in there. You got some guys with 15, 16 years.
Man, you talk about some characters. It wasn't but Shane Papala, I mean, what hasn't he won in the 16 years? Back to back. I mean, back to back
Brickyard. Missing bricks twice in a row.
Dude, back to back. I got one Brickyard, and that's like the most amazing moment of my life, you know, like as far as my career, kissing the bricks. And this dude,
he's also got a
back to back.
500.
And he's got a Daytona 500. I mean,
he was on the
Yeah. He just plays it. And
dude, I mean, when he started talking, it was just like, what years was that? Was that who was that when he went back to back? It probably was two.
Harvick.
Yeah. Damn.
Wait a second. How does a pit crew member make it onto SportsCenter top 10? What happened?
No, not from his football days. This is when he jumped between the cars.
He
jumped between the cars with the Jackman. He was about to get killed and sandwiched. but he jumped up, put his foot on the car. I mean, it was a phenomenal move.
When
You
was
could
it?
find that.
Yeah, that was athletic.
Dylan Moser.
Yep.
I can't remember what year that was, but it was amazing. He
I
made the
remember.
top 10 as a crew member on Sports
When's the
Center.
last time somebody did that?
Well, I don't know, but Dylan Moser did it. And, you know,
Wow.
he's on that 14 car, and they have the fastest pits, one of the fastest pit stops ever in the world. He's been on Sports Center. There's a lot of winning on that team. Little Birdie told me, little Birdie's chirping, the streets talk, you know, the streets talk. And what I'm hearing, Netflix, the next special on Netflix that's focused around NASCAR might involve a lot of these storylines, you know, around these pit crew members.
Little Birdie was chirping in the Clash about a new series.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with a different angle, other than
different angles.
Yeah,
what? Not even Netflix. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around of content being produced at a big level. Crystal, long story short, trust your boys here. The streets is talking. And there's a lot of movement going on in the pit crew world as far as storytelling and content. So we get the right ones to showcase, you know, in the right way.
Big things on the horizon, from what I understand.
We actually didn't even do race winner picks. Do we want to do that for Texas? Do we want to revisit that? Because you were kind of wrong last week, but you were also kind of right. Like you said, you said that it would be HMS for sure. Turns out you guys actually showed up deep. HMS was all over. Y'all had all your shirts. Were you in that picture too, or were you just hanging out wherever you want to hang out?
It took too long to take the picture after the race. You know, that's 1,500 people they had to corral. And I was just trying to get to the hotel. So I was there in spirit. Everybody knew I was there. I said hi. I gave him a shout out on TV live on pit road. You know, I shouted him out. I wore the Tim Richmond hat. Go check the Instagram for the fit if you haven't seen it. But I didn't. Yeah, the shoes were in the photo. But I didn't need to stay for the picture. And it was pretty dope. You got to think of how much it took to get all those employees there and the family members there.
They did a good job with that.
Yes, they did. And they had a great setup up there too, dude. They had a whole hospitality. They were lit up there.
Off the turn 2, they had obviously it's not a bad seat in the house there in Martinsville, but they had all the Hendrick guys and families, and
they did
in a nice section off of turn 2 there on the hill.
A lot of smiles.
It was pretty good. I mean, I have to say,
a lot of libations.
It was a good setup.
Were there a lot of hot dogs?
No, it looked like they had that tray food, the one that you had to walk down and put on a plate. You know, they had that buffet food.
They had the stuff catered up there. No hot dogs up there.
No Martinsville hot dogs, not the talk of the town.
We didn't need the little pink dog penises up there, you know, those things. You know, we team Costco dogs.
I don't even want it
this
anymore.
house.
I don't want it anymore.
No pink wieners.
No red rockets.
No red rockets.
No lipstick, all of that.
With
you guys, you spoiled it. You spoiled it for me.
Slaw and mustard on your red rocket. You don't want that slaw on your red rocket.
Yeah, you can't have it.
You just pull the skin. You just pull the bun back. I mean, you know.
Delete. I gotta we gotta talk about other food. Okay, we got brisket. You guys got brisket right across the track from you.
Oh, we got Tex-Mex everywhere.
I need
good food out here.
Tacos everywhere. I think I've had tacos every day, Chris.
Yeah, but those tacos aren't LA tacos. Speaking of LA, I don't know if you guys saw, but this kind of reminded me of how Sports Business Journal and Steve Phelps were talking about potentially having a NASCAR race at Dodger Stadium. I am not going to let that conversation die out, primarily because that would be like a dream come true for me, being from LA and not having.
That would be dope.
Like we talked about it. And we need to show Rod this photo because Sorry,
I'm
guys.
thinking of the fit. I'm thinking of the fit already for Dodger
Already, that could be
Stadium.
like 3,000 years from now. Who knows?
I would have to go
But
blue and red.
so take a look at this. This showed up on Reddit under like some kind of urban wasteland kind of thing. But this is the aerial view of Dodger Stadium. So you see the stadium. It's that little thing in the middle, blue heaven on earth. And everything around it that kind of looks like, what's the, what am I trying to think of? What's
the parking lot?
No, it looks like a Star Wars ship.
It does. What is that? The Death Star. Or the other one. Oh, the other one. The good guys.
Yeah. Well,
not the DeLorean.
No. The DeLorean is Back to the Future. That's a real thing. That's a car.
Chris, you don't watch Star Wars? I know what that thing is called.
The DeLorean.
Name. Not the Death Star. It's the other one. The good guys. What's that ship called?
I don't know why. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I can't think about it. Anyways, this was on like an urban wasteland, but everything you see around that is all parking lot. So that's not getting used during the off season and for any away games. It's just sitting there. And LA has a problem with a lack of housing, and they also, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but let me go ahead and just read the headline here for people that are listening. It says parking lot footprint of Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles. Read the title on the post, which also includes tag concrete wasteland. The shot puts into stark perspective just how much value urban space is being sacrificed to accommodate cars. Interesting.
Urban. You're gonna have an event with no parking. Obviously.
Well, so I know that Union Station is downtown. That's the big train station hub that Metro uses for all their buses too. So you have a bunch of railways, and they're also working on a railway to get people to and from LAX from Union Station. So they're trying to kind of cut back on a lot of the independent car travel on the highways, because you guys know how bad the traffic is, right? Yeah. It's terrible.
You see, Chris, this is problems we don't think about. We don't think about this living on the East Coast where Crystal lives on the West Coast.
Like that. But so especially when you're going, to and from downtown, since Dodger Stadium sits at the heart of downtown, your traffic, oh my God, what is wrong with my brain today? What's that prime time traffic hour?
Rush hour.
Thank you. So you're sitting there during
rush hour.
You're sitting there during rush hour and coming around that hill for Chavez Ravine. Kiss it goodbye. We've had to learn.
What's Chavez Ravine? Come on now.
That's the hill that Dodger Stadium sits on top of. It's actually Chavez Ravine. But when you listen to the broadcast, they go Chavez Ravine. It's been.
You mean Julio Cesar Chavez, right?
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Say it like a black person. Julio Cesar Chavez.
David, Julio. What's his name?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it gets late.
So it's to top this hill, and it creates a nightmare. Mm-hmm. But when I look at it, I'm just going to show it one more time, because I feel like
how big is that?
It's huge. I don't know the feet, but it's massive. If you consider how big the actual ballpark itself is in the middle there, look at how many different ballparks you could put around that.
Do you think that could be a racetrack?
That's where I was going. Look at that. I don't think the race would be inside of Dodger Stadium, but you could build a road course right on the outside, because guess who else does that? F1. Their Miami GP is at the Dolphins Arena. So it's not like it's never been done before.
Right.
I think they had a GP in Austin this weekend, because Kenyatta was in Austin earlier in the week.
That was MotoGP.
MotoGP. And then they
Trackhouse got a MotoGP team. But I think that, that's actually, let's look at it again. I could actually see a race going there. The problem that we're doing. Yeah, it's already been teased, right? But I think another problem that we're looking at, and I said this to Rocko earlier, is that if you're, in Los Angeles, you have to understand that there's a really, really serious problem with smog and trying to preserve the environment out there. In the next 10 years, they're supposed to stop sales of all fuel run cars. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. It's impossible.
Y'all have a lot of people in California. Period.
LA alone.
LA alone. So I mean, that's above my pay grade.
Well,
That's
let
an
me
issue
add.
above my pay grade.
Well, let me
honestly.
add this. I know that NASCAR has also teased the idea of the electric car, like they're already building that and trying to get prototypes.
Electrification of motor parts, electrification of the
Ah.
engine,
Hmm.
electrification.
Mm.
That is
Rumor
gray
has it
area.
the car's built already.
Yeah, I heard
It's
that too.
built. Rumor has it is built
But
already.
I mean, I think that would be a perfect spot for that. And that's something that can keep going rather than just having the clash there. But I mean, they want to put it on the NASCAR schedule. So whatever that means. If it happens, I'll be so happy. Because here's another fun fact about Dodger Stadium. And I know this, I geek out on LA and racetracks and stuff like that.
Give it to us. Give it to us, Crystal.
Well, think about it. Like when you land in LA, like if you come through LAX, that used to be a racetrack. Like one of the first traditionally true stock car races actually happened at LAX. It was called Mines Field Speedway.
Get out.
I'm not joking.
I would have never known.
I know the entire history of Los Angeles and racing and racetracks, and it goes all the way back to like politics and the whole thing with better roads and blah, 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 blah. But if you go to the Peterson Museum, you could probably see snippets of that too.
I'll get you one. Can I ask you a question, Crystal?
Yeah.
Miss LA?
Yeah.
Miss the history of LA?
Yeah.
Why is green bad luck in motorsports?
Oh, I don't know.
In particularly NASCAR fans. I overheard this conversation from some triple OGs talking at the racetrack the other day. You know, apparently the casualties of a lot of race car drivers had the color green
cars.
Green cars. $50 bill. $50 bill. One driver passed.
Oh, a $50 bill. So it's money, not like the color green itself.
The color green and the $50 bills.
And peanuts.
Because fans used to eat peanuts and throw them on there and hoping that their driver would wreck.
Ooh.
Superstitious.
Well, that'll be something
that are dying.
To Dodger Stadium for that weekend. But let me tell you, Dodger Stadium actually is unique. It is the only ballpark that has a Union 76. Well, there was a Union 76 gas station up until the mid 2000s there at the top. Like you'll still see it. You'll still see it. It's now an event space, but you could people were driving up there on their last legs of gas, making sure they made the game on time, and they'd fill up before they left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. And, Union 76 has been very involved with motorsports too, and I think that would be a perfect place. Do you like the little road course around it? Maybe that'll be the media center. I don't know. It's been,
I think
it really needs to be. I think that there's a bigger reason why there needs to be a race in Los Angeles and it needs to stay there. And I think that was part of the thing of having it at the Coliseum because they traditionally used to race there. The AAA of Southern California is like right down the street and they have a trophy from races that used to be put on at the Rose Garden. I know it all.
And it's a market that seems like it's not as passionate about NASCAR as it is on the East Coast. So it's an opportunity to kind of introduce that. Well, I mean, that's my opinion.
No, but that's for the most part true because think about the access to it. Nobody in LA, like I said, is going to Fontana. We call it Fontucky. There was really no reason for us to go to there was a steel mill. So that's it.
Well, then why were there so many people there? Where were those people coming from that were coming to Fontana when it was packed and sold out for all those years?
They're coming from around the area. It's not like, there's other cities there. It takes about an hour.
So you mean just LA in particular?
Specifically.
Because that's a whole nother country in itself.
Essentially. So remember, I just said the traffic is a huge issue. Right. So your option to go to Fontana would take the weekend and park, which makes sense for a lot of people. But you really don't want to put up with the traffic going in and out of Fontana every single day. Like one of the guys in media, he goes to USC and he was he had to go back into LA after one of the races, and he was just he didn't want to have to make the drive back to go across downtown and all of that. But that's the thing, like, if you look at big cities, people kind of wonder why there's no, NASCAR doesn't go directly to these cities, and they've made it happen with Chicago. But it's because all the racetracks that you could possibly put in places like that, it just becomes, the value of property just goes up. So it's like, if you own a track somewhere like Fontana, we saw it happen. They ended up selling a big portion of that track. It just sits on land, and you can make money off of that.
Right.
And that's,
if you own it,
that's pretty much the history of racetracks in California. They just,
well, that's when it comes to a business. That's when it comes to a business, when you have a property where you have people weighing options to go or not to go to avoid traffic. Well, do you want to own something that's contingent on people coming, or do you want to make money off of it by
real estate,
another way that's more consistent? Yes.
Yeah, California real estate is extremely valuable.
That's
and
what I was
also,
getting at.
but that's what you see at other tracks, though. Like Vegas has multiple events there, and I'm not talking about just racing. They've got EDC. EDC is huge. That's actually the first time I even went to the track. It was, oh my God, we're going to Speedway for EDC. Did I think that NASCAR was there ever?
What is
No.
EDC?
Electric Daisy Carnival.
Oh, yes.
Your big
I did hear
EDM
about
artist. That. Yeah, 3-day festival. I've been like 3 times, but I'm way past it now. It's like the Coachella or like miniature Coachella, because that goes on for 2 weeks, I think.
I'm about due for one of those, I'm about due for a mid-age crisis.
What's yours gonna be? What are you gonna? You want to go to? You want to go to EDC? It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a different experience. But I stopped going. Now I'm strictly at the track for races. Like this weekend, I'm thrilled to be there just for NHRA.
4 wide, right? 4 wide out there.
Oh, yeah, and you only do it twice a year. And guess who's there? Your boss.
Smoke shows there.
Yeah, he's doing his first 4 wide in Top Fuel. I actually stopped to talk to him yesterday because he had media availability. But guess I stopped and asked him about Big Gooch. He still works for him. Well, you probably know that.
Yep, Big Gooch is his transportation director guy.
Wasn't there this week. But I'm a little sad about that because I want to see how, like you guys say, he's massive and scary. Like,
I used to picture how I would knock his ass out if we ever got into it. I'd be like, I'd have to hit him from the side. I can't let him see me coming, and I have to make sure I get him in the temple or in the jaw to make sure he goes out.
So wait, how tall is he though?
About 6'6".
Yeah, about 6'6".
Oh, so he's not that tall.
340.
Oh man, though. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he got them big paws. I have big hands, and he's like,
he's got bare mitts. He's got bare mitts. Some things are huge.
You guys want to hear like a really bad joke?
Make it bad.
You may have to sleep on it for a little bit.
Make it really bad.
So a bear walks into a bar. The bartender asks, "What do you have?" And the bear says, "I'll have a gin and tonic." And the bartender's like, "Why the big paws?" And the bear goes, "Dude, I'm a bear."
Why the big paws? I'm a bear. I'm a bear.
Rocko's
Come
like,
on, Rocko, what you got? Big paws.
Why the big paws, Rocko?
I'm a bear.
You get it though.
It was good.
Listening.
It was cute.
Gin and
It was cute. Big paws. Chris kept saying it. Yeah, big paws. Chris was cracking himself up. Big paws. Big paws.
I had a job. I got hired for a job here. I got hired for a job here in Vegas, and that actually got me the job. Like the manager was like, "Tell me a joke." I was like, "I only know one." And I told
that was the joke.
Let me tell you, during orientation, there's got to be like 100 people there. And they had to stop for something. They're like, "Crystal, come up here and tell that joke you told me just to kill time." And I was like, "Okay." I got up there and like, I think I heard like 3 people laugh. And one of the girls that I worked with, she was like, "Man, you told that joke." And I went home and I didn't even get it until I like went down and slept on it. Like I woke up in the middle of the night like, "Oh, That's the only one I know.
It was a good one. It was a good one. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna. I might use it. I might use it.
Go ahead, because I mean, I didn't come up with it on my own. So
But you
next
exposed
week,
me to it.
huh?
You exposed us to it.
Once you get the microphone at Talladega next week, go ahead and tell everybody there.
Yeah. Hey, I might, because I will be on the mic at Talladega. I will be
Oh
back
yeah?
on the mic at Talladega. So
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I'm
I'm
glad
excited
you
to watch.
reminded me. I'm curious to see what we're going to talk about. I got to get that together.
That should be an interesting race. That I think is it the spring race that's the like high energy, like everybody gets thrilled for the first Talladega race of the season, or is it later on in the fall?
That's a good way to put it. I mean, they're both have their own reasons because that's a playoff race too. But we are itching since Daytona for another super speedway.
Yeah, it's been
That
a while.
tight pack racing. So and
Side by
you, the
side, too
speed
wide.
demon. Yep, that's right down your alley. Since you like that speed, as you proclaim.
Who, me?
Yes, you said the
Oh
speed.
yeah,
You want to
no,
see
I
him go
do, but I'm
fast.
getting, like I said, I'm here at NHRA, so nothing tops
You're getting
that.
your fix. You're getting your
Oh yeah,
fix.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
4 wide. Woo!
You sound
You
like
have no
Nicole,
idea.
boy. You
I'm in the
sound like
media
Nicole.
center, and I still jump. I've done this for 3 years now, and I'm just like out of nowhere. I forget this.
Remember the first time I went? Yeah, you got to be ready.
Yeah, and the windows are just rattling the whole time. And then I don't know if you guys have seen the. Do they do the rockets, like the little spaceship-looking cars in Charlotte?
Oh no. Oh, you mean at Z-Max? I don't know if
Yeah.
they did those at
Yeah.
Z-Max. I know what you're talking about, though. I don't know. They
Yeah,
might.
it's like sitting under a shuttle about to take off.
Yeah, those things are crazy.
But they don't go as fast as Top Fuel guys, I don't think. It's crazy.
It just sounds like it.
Man.
That's a whole nother world right there. That drag stuff's a whole nother world.
It really is. Like, it has everything. When we were sitting down with Tony Stewart yesterday, he was talking about how him and his driver, Matt Hagan, they were talking about how they don't understand why it's not considered as like such a big extreme sport in the way that other sports are recognized, because they're doing, crazy speeds. But I think it's just a matter of people not really understanding it. Like when you're there and when you're watching it on TV, it's two different things. So, I mean,
that's like our sport, though, right?
Huh?
Everybody, like you said earlier, people ask why you want to watch cars go turn left for 4 hours, right? But there's more to it once you break it down. So I can see that. I can see that in the drag racing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I like it all. Like I said, it just adds a little bit of variety. It's very quick, as you can.
I don't.
What you don't like drag racing?
No, I mean, I respect it. I understand that there's a skill set involved, but
That's
like
what I say about
NASCAR
people
better.
I don't like. I say I respect them.
I mean, I respect it. You're going in a straight line, Crystal. You're sitting in a chair. It's all your mental reflexes and everything. Trust and car. Yes, you get what I'm saying? So I get it, but I'm just not scared.
It made Travis, but what I was going to say is like Tony Stewart was talking about, ask Travis Pastrana about it, because out of everything Travis Pastrana has done, that actually managed to scare him.
Well, I'm not even talking about, which one is scarier or the other. The human performance factor is more so in NASCAR as opposed to more mechanical and motor is. And I'm just not a motorhead. And I have no passion for the raw machinery of it. I'm more of just whooping somebody's ass, competing and being the best type stuff and watching people do that. Yeah. But yeah, the true purist. Yeah, you sound like a straight up motorhead. You sound like Nicole.
Me?
You sound like, just what you're saying, because you sound similar to someone who appreciates, how to make something go fast, and it's more than just
a culmination
being
of it all.
athletic.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's more than just being athletic. There's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of science and technology.
Yeah, man. Well, it's been good talking to you guys. I know we missed a whole week. Was that 2 weeks ago or last week? Well, I won't tell anybody.
It will let everybody know how late it is when we're recording this too, in case they're thinking, man, they look a little sleepy if they're looking at me, but it's about 1 a.m. over here. It's about 2 a.m. over here. I don't know where y'all are, but I'm in Beijing right now. It's about 2 a.m.
Wouldn't it be tomorrow? Oh yeah, that is tomorrow. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
2 p.m.
Yeah.
Konnichiwa.
What shoe is that?
Demdawa.
Yeah.
No, I'm learning Korean, just so you know.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
Korean? It just
Huh?
came out naturally.
What?
I thought I was speaking German.
Oh, that's right. You got everything. All right. Well, that's it. We've talked about quite a lot this week, and
What's happening?
I know I look
Yep.
forward to tomorrow. Who did you say was the Grand Marshal?
Man, I don't know who the Grand Marshal is, but I know
Oh
Bun
no, I'm
B
sorry.
is
You
there.
said Bun B was going to be at the track.
Bun
Yeah,
B.
you half of
So
UGK. Rest in
So
peace,
Texas.
MC.
That's so Texas.
Got to give me a picture too, and I got to get me some Trill Burger coupons or something. We need
Yeah.
them to build a Trill Burgers
Beaver
on
nuggets.
the East Coast.
Beaver nuggets,
Bun
please.
B.
Oh yeah, at the
Beaver
Buc-ee's, at the Bushies. We'll
Oh,
get
you
my
know what?
Bushies.
I actually I messaged Rod. I said, "Don't forget to try the brisket at Buc-ee's." He's like, "I knew I was supposed to do something. I forgot to tell him about the beaver nuggets." So get with him and see what he says.
Guess what I'm buying? I'm buying the family Buc-ee's pajama set onesies. I saw them. They're $25.
It's
And
time
they
to
have
go.
double X. And they have double X, XL, youth large. I'm gonna have the whole family, and I'm gonna take a picture, and I want you to post it on the NightShifters social.
They got it all at Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Don't get that. It's time to go, guys.
I'm going to Buc-ee's right now.
All right, you guys, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, your Instagram.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And then, hey, you guys say hi to all my Texas. Oh, wait, I gotta do that again. All right, guys, say hi to all my exes.
In Texas, you got X's in Texas.
All my exes live in
You
Texas.
got them in area codes.
Hey.
You don't know that song for somebody that I don't like country. For somebody that doesn't really like a whole lot of country, I know that.
Oh, that's a country song. My bad.
Yeah, all my exes live in Texas.
You learned me something.
That was from living in Texas for a really long time. You got to remember, I went to U of H, so I was around it. I haven't been back since. Well, except for the race. I haven't been back to Houston at all.
I hear you, Yonsei.
I used to see her sister everywhere. It got to the point where I thought, like, maybe she thought I was stalking her, but she just showed up at places I was all the time. It was weird. Somebody
All
else
right,
did.
y'all.
But I All right, you guys. I need sleep.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thanks for watching.